What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with something a little bit different today. Something to hopefully get the gears grinding in your collective brains. And a lot of this video, I don't know if it's really a necessary video, but I thought it would be fun to kind of document two items that I consider to be pretty awesome items that I decided to sell. And I don't usually sell much in the way of my favorite items or rare items, and certainly these two qualify. We've got an AFA 85 vinyl Cape Jawa that I've had for a number of years, and then we have here a vintage collection miscard. This is the Jawa on the Sith Trooper, and that's graded 85 plus by CAS. And you know, I think that the point of this video is to maybe just get you thinking about your own collection. And would you consider selling one of your favorite action figures if it meant helping somebody else out? And in this case, I decided to sell these two to fund a college fund for my 8-month-old nephew. And while I certainly did not need to do it, I was not asked to do it. My wife didn't ask me to do that. The more I thought about it, I was like, okay, look, I've got two items. One of these, my vintage collection miscard, has been sitting in a drawer since I got it back from CAS. I literally never take it out of a drawer. And my vinyl Cape Jawa has been sitting on a shelf for probably 4 or 5 or 6 years. And while the market is still somewhat fairly strong for vinyl Cape Jawas and still very strong for miscards, I thought it made sense to sell these and take the proceeds and give them to my sister-in-law to help start a college savings plan for my 8-month-old nephew Charlie. And you know, my sister-in-law and her husband, they work very hard, much harder than I do. Okay, I will freely admit that I do not work very hard anymore, and I'm very lucky in that respect. And what, you know, she's a teacher. She works much harder than I ever have in probably my entire life, and for very little reward. If you guys know the public school system in the U.S., they don't pay their teachers nearly enough for what they do and the hours they put in, not only at school but after school and before school and even during their summer breaks to prepare for the coming year or for closing out the past year. And my sister-in-law has done so much for my own kids over the last 11 years of their existence. She is just an incredible aunt to my children. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the sentimental part of me, but I decided that it would be kind of a fun thing to do and a good thing to do to sell two items and help contribute towards a college fund for my nephew Charlie. So that's what I'm doing. And so my vinyl Cape Jawa I listed on Rogue 5 Toys, and it sold within a day for $3,300 US, and that's about the fair market value. I mean, I've tried to price it fair. Certainly they've sold higher, certainly maybe a little lower, but not much. So thank you to Kelly R, who did claim it, and we're on a payment plan for that. And once it's all paid off, I will be shipping this double box to you. And this is a stunner, an absolute stunner. The cape is in perfect condition. The figure's in perfect condition. This is every bit of an AFA 85. And there's a label on it. So I've been very lucky and very blessed to have this in my collection for a long time. But the way I look at it is, do I need to have this item? Do I need to have it? No. It's just another figure on my shelf. And my shelves are very plentiful, okay? I've got plenty of other figures that I can enjoy. It's just a little plastic doll. And from my perspective, I think that it made sense to pass it on to another collector who's really been wanting one, which Kelly R has been. And I gave him what I consider to be a fair price for it. And it'll do much more with him, and the money will do much more good for a family member of mine than just having this on my shelf along with 350 other loose graded figures, okay? And for this miscard, what's interesting is that I was offered by the person who ended up claiming it, who is a Jawa focus collector, so thank you to SW for claiming this, but he actually offered me more money about a year ago for this item that I ended up selling it to him for this year. I just felt like the price that I asked for it was fair given the rarity. This is a one of one to my knowledge. I do not know of any other Jawa Sith Trooper miscards within the vintage collection. I have not seen one anyway, either on Facebook or eBay or anywhere else. And he actually offered me quite a bit more money for it, and as well as in-kind trades that would amount to more money than what I asked for it this go around. And I sent him a PM. I said, hey, look, this is the number I want for it. I think this is a fair number. And this is an example of an item that's going to be going to another collector he's a Jawa-focused collector. He's got one of the greatest Jawa collections I've ever seen. And this is going to be displayed proudly within SW's collection room versus sitting in a drawer in the dark, which is what this has been doing for the last, let's call it 2 to 3 years. So it went to the right home. I got what I consider to be a fair price for it, and he paid less than what he offered me for it a year or two ago. So congratulations, that will be on the way to you as well. So anyway, the point of this video is not to virtue signal or to like toot my own horn or to pat myself on the back. It's just a question that I've got for all of you who are watching. Would you consider selling one of your best action figures in your collection to help out a family member, or to just cash it out and reinvest it into something else? And it's something I struggled with when it came to these two items specifically. It's something I struggled with for about a month or so. I really gave it some thought. It might have been even longer for the Vinyl Cape Jawa, because the Vinyl Cape Jawa is one of the better figures in my collection. It's probably one of the top 5 figures in my collection. It certainly has the history and the kind of pedigree. It's such a well-known variant, and will only continue to go up in value, in my opinion. And, so it was something that I didn't need to sell necessarily, but I felt like the time was right to pass this on to somebody else who will enjoy it and display it and be super happy about it. And I could put that money to good work, to good use, and not buy something else that I don't need for myself, but to actually gift it to somebody and let them, here's the way I look at it with this figure. I got to enjoy it for a number of years. And now when I look back at it, when I'm looking back at this figure 10 or 15 or 18 years from now, when my nephew is going to college, I can look back and know that I sold this and for like, don't get me wrong, $3,300 is paying, in 18 years, that's probably paying for 15 minutes of one Economics 101 class with how tuitions have gone up for college. But at the same time, in 18 years, I can look back and say, hey, I remember I sold my awesome Vinyl Cape Jawa, and I helped contribute towards him going to college in 18 years. So that's kind of the way I look at it. It's just going to be a cool story for my family. And let's be smarmy, or let's be kind of sarcastic for a little while. Do you guys have any idea how much goodwill this buys me? Not only with my sister-in-law, but also with my wife. And I told Chris W. this over at Rogue 5 and 5 Idiots Talking Toys and a couple of other good buddies of mine. I was like, you guys are playing checkers. I'm playing chess. And it's checkmate, people. Because this now buys me, by selling these two items and helping fund a family member, my wife's sister's son, my nephew, but I'm buying so much goodwill. And this buys me a lot of collecting ability over the next 10 to 15 years. And if I see something I want, I'm never going to be questioned again when that box shows up from the mailman. So that's the sarcastic way of looking at it. But I do think that it gives me a good feeling. And it's just one of those kind of things I wanted to document. I wanted to document both of these leaving the collection. And what a cool looking item here. This is the Jawa on the Sith Trooper card back, and it is graded Sith Trooper miscarded Jawa, Rise of Skywalker, VC 162, 85 plus, 85, 90, 95 were the subscores on it. So it is a true factory error, and just kind of a random find I had on eBay, ungraded, and then I sent it off to Collector Archive to be authenticated. And look, it's not often I sell two really, really big items in my collection, but I thought it was a cool story. I thought it would be thought-provoking for those of you who are sick of my normal kind of market updates. And I wanted, for me anyway, a lot of this video is for me. I get to document two pretty rare items that are leaving my collection. I mean, I don't know if the vinyl Cape Jaw was really rare. I mean, we see these for sale a lot, but it is an expensive, highly sought after item. The vintage collection miscard, I would say, is rare because I have not seen another one of these pop up ever. This combination, this particular character combination, and it's going to the right home. It's a Jawa focus collector, and he's going to display that proudly. So anyway, that's all I really had for this video. And please, in the comments below, I would love to hear your thoughts on the question I'm posing in this video, and whether you've ever done it, number one, whether you've ever gotten rid of one of your best action figures, whether it's because of financial difficulty or you wanted to reinvest it in something else that's even more rare or more amazing, or maybe it's like me, where you wanted to take the funds and gift it to a family member. So that's all I really had for this video. Thanks as always for watching, and I will be back very soon.